What it do, YouTube? And it's that time of the week again. Welcome to the Cardboard Critics, the sports card podcast where we break down the hottest investments, the best plays, and the cards that will hopefully make your wallet cry tears of joy. I'm Mr. Hollywood, that's Joe Nasty, and we're shaking things up. From now on, you're getting 4 cards per week.
That's it?
You want to come up with more?
No.
Number 1, you're going to get a safe investment card because sometimes you need to convince your significant other that this isn't just cardboard.
Nothing can go wrong, baby.
Exactly. Number 2, you're going to get a high-risk, high-reward card because that sounds better than degenerate gambling. Number 3, you're going to get an undervalued steal, so find it before someone else figures it out, or we will help you find it. And number 4, you're just going to get one badass card because let's be honest, sometimes style is more important than substance. But let's get into this week's Invest Cards of the Week, starting real quick before we start. The views expressed in this show are solely our opinions and do not constitute investment advice. Please consult a professional advisor for any of your investment needs. Okay, disclaimer done. So let's roll, starting with our safe card of the week, and that is this 1969 Topps base rookie card of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, aka Lou Alcindor.
Yes.
Here is your pricing chart for all PSA grades for this card, so you can take a gander at it for yourself. We have the 1 through the 5 and the 5.5 through the 10. We have a recorded sale of a 9 at $192,000. However, you can pick up a PSA 1 of this if you really wanted to for $350.
Wow.
So there's a whole lot of range in there for you to go. But Kareem, probably the most insane rookie season ever. 27.7 points, 16.9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, and 1.5 steals. That is wild. Obviously, Kareem was a 6-time NBA MVP. He was a 2-time Finals MVP, a 6-time NBA champion, a 19-time All-Star, the 1970 Rookie of the Year. He was a 3-time NCAA champion, a 2-time National College Player of the Year, and a 3-time NCAA MOP, Most Outstanding Player of the Tournament award winner. He's second all-time in scoring in the NBA
As of last year,
at 38,387 points. And Kareem had the most undefendable shot in basketball history. That, to this day, still no one else knows how to do.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy that no one else has figured that out. But why this card? Why is it safe? Why is this card or set of importance? Well, number 1, it's the rookie card of one of the greatest players of all time. And it's affordable, right? $350 if you want a PSA 1 or something. But it's a unique, oversized design. And tall boy cards like this stood out from standard cards, just kind of like when 52 Topps Baseball released the jumbo cards. It stood out over 51 Bowman that was a little smaller. But this was Topps' first major basketball set since 1957, I believe, and it kind of helped revitalize the basketball card market. And because of the large size of these cards, the condition for grading is tougher because there's more surface area. There's more things that can go wrong. So it's harder to get a big grade, a very high grade on these. It also features the name Lou Alcindor, of course, before he changed his name.
Right.
And if you want, because I think this is a very underrated part of the hobby, is to have autographed vintage cards. You can pick up this card right now, autographed, for under $2,000 pretty easily.
Wow.
Maybe even closer to $1,500, which in my opinion is really cool. And at the end of the day, these are aging superstars, right? Aging superstars and have safety both in life as well as after it. We've seen it, it's unfortunate when it happens, but we've seen it many times. They carry value in life, they carry value after life. I know Kareem has had some health issues as of late, but if you're telling me you can get an on-card autograph on a vintage 1960s tall boy rookie card of the second greatest scorer in NBA history, I'm telling you, I really don't think that you're going to regret it, and neither is your wallet a few years down the road. Your thoughts on this as a safe card?
There's probably nothing safer than Kareem. Because, like, think about it. So what would be something that tanks the values? Like a scandal, an injury,
Right.
something like. And Kareem's made it through all that. That's a classic. Look, people now know pretty openly that he's a bit rough around the edges. And
Yep.
especially as he was a superstar, he was, let's just put it nicely, a curmudgeon. So people know that. Yet here we are. He still holds his value. His place in the game will never be shaken. Like, he's not going to have a scandal of that. The skyhook is iconic. The skyhook and the underhand free throw. Like, the reason players don't do that, I don't know. Like, I know the underhand free throw doesn't look cool, but you know what? You could be a 90% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is as lead pipe lock safe as it gets. He's gone, like,
I think so.
that Lakers series that came out in was it Winning Time? Like, it showed people, was it a little bit more animated? Was it a bit fictionalized? A bit, yes.
Yeah.
But Kareem is truly,
Yeah.
no, he was tough to deal with.
If you
And he's made it this far.
If you ask me, I think that, yeah, exactly. The biggest lead pipe lock safe right now is probably an on-card autographed Kareem 1969 Topps rookie card.
I'm trying to think, like, he's sort of the
Gotta be.
bridge. He is the bridge from, like, the Wilt Bill Russell, right?
Yeah.
To, like, Magic.
To the Showtime 80s.
Because obviously he played with Showtime. He is Showtime. But, like, he's not Magic's generation.
No, he was starting to.
Slightly.
It was the transition period, right? He bridged the gap a little bit.
So I'm trying to think, like, who else was that era? Like, Oscar Robertson, perhaps? Jerry West, who's also no longer with, but Jerry West was older.
Dominique, maybe? Nah, he's
No,
a little
after,
later.
after,
He's a little
because he was with
later.
Michael.
Yeah.
Something fun to talk about, and we can look it up later.
Yeah. But let's move to card number 2, and this is our high risk, high reward card of the week. And this one's Jahmyr Gibbs, running back for the Detroit Lions, his 2023 Prism Silver and a PSA 10, which is down 23.8% over the past year to $103. This card had a high of $150 during the playoffs. In 2024, Jahmyr Gibbs carried the ball 250 times for 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, and a 5.6 yards per carry average. He caught 52 passes for 517 yards and 4 touchdowns as well. So the elephant in the room with this is obviously David Montgomery taking a lot of share away from him. In the games Montgomery did not play, and Gibbs was the true bell cow. He had 64 carries.
I love that term.
He averaged 21 carries per game, just about, had 365 yards, 5 touchdowns, 13 catches for another 120 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs is basically Christian McCaffrey in his prime
Wow.
when given the full workload. That's just what it works out to, right? So, like, the upside is massive, and I mean massive on Jahmyr Gibbs, but you do have some risk, right? And the risks are obviously that Montgomery takes a lot of share away from him. But someone pointed this out in the comments. I had a conversation back and forth a little bit with someone in the comments this week. I think the subscriber's name was like Love for the Hobby or something. So shout out to Love in the Hobby if you're watching this.
Love in the hobby? Because that's different. Like,
Love
maybe
for the hobby.
Say maybe they found love.
Love for the hobby.
Maybe they went to a convention, like, found their future partner.
Who knows? Love for the hobby. If you're watching this, shout out to you. This part's a little bit because of you. But he did bring up that with Montgomery there, it kind of soaks up a few more hits. So maybe it keeps Jahmyr Gibbs healthier. But B, obviously the other big risk is just that he's a running back. Right? Like one ACL and it could be all over in a blink. But this is the most exciting running back probably in the NFL in a super high-powered offense.
Yep.
His cards aren't as high as they maybe would be if he were the feature back, all the time.
Yep.
So that's why it's high risk, high reward. If David Montgomery goes down again, or they decide to say, you know what, screw it. We're giving Jahmyr Gibbs 20 carries a game no matter what. the prices could go pretty north pretty fast.
They could. I don't want to oversimplify this, but it just comes down to, like, how do you feel about the running back position in our Lord's year 2025, right?
Yeah, it's like, how do you feel about the pitcher position?
Yeah. And yeah, great point. David Montgomery definitely soaks up a lot of those hits. So much so that he soaked them up and then he disintegrated for the rest of the season, right?
It's true.
He got hurt because he is the power man. And we've talked about Jahmyr Gibbs a couple times now on this here program. And to me, David Montgomery more epitomizes what that offense is about. Sledgehammer, best offensive line, well, second best offensive line in football, then play action with Jared Goff, where he's most effective / most comfortable, which we saw in that playoff game. It's just really weird to make this point because we were borderline the wrongest we've ever been about Saquon at the beginning of this football season.
Yeah, we were.
Because this season was the return of the running back.
Yep.
Saquon, Derrick Henry. But look who we're talking about. These are the two biggest freaks in the game. And Saquon has had his fair share of injury issues.
Right.
So if you feel safe with a running back, then do it. He's electric. But, like, we've seen the electric running back have his 2 to 3 year pinnacle, and it goes really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it goes really, really fast. I remember seeing, Scott Hansen doing his interview series at the Super Bowl, and he had Jahmyr Gibbs like, this is the guy, and he's like, good for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's really marketing off of this amazing year he just had. Because, like, this time next year, there's a very, very real likelihood that, like, that spot could be taken by someone else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Well, let's move to card number 3, and that is our undervalued card of the week, where we stay in the NFL with another running back. And that running back is Bijan Robinson, of course, running back for the Atlanta Falcons. His 2023 absolute kaboom.
Absolutely.
His rookie vertical kaboom in a PSA 9, which is down 25% over the past year to $500. Just $500. 2024, 300 carries for 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. I want to compare him to Jahmyr Gibbs because we just talked about him, obviously.
Yep. Very comparable.
Jahmyr's rookie kaboom in a PSA 9 is sitting at $1,200. $1,250 to be exact. That is $750 more than Bijan Robinson's same card. Now, Gibbs had the same amount of yards and 2 more touchdowns than Robinson with 50 less carries because he's just better. And he's also on a better team. But Robinson had an awful start to last season, and I mean awful. But then he scored 10 touchdowns in his final 8 games and averaged well over 100 yards per game after just 100-yard contest in the team's first 9. So whether Cousins gets cut or not, if it's Penix, they'll rely more heavily on Bijan Robinson. Michael Penix is more mobile too, so he could create more open space opportunities for a Bijan Robinson. So I could see this one being undervalued for sure heading into next year, especially if it drops into the 400s range this offseason, which I think it probably will. And so the fact that Bijan Robinson's vertical kaboom, it's a big deal that it's vertical, not horizontal. The fact that the vertical kaboom rookie card here is probably going to be in the 400s, high 400s, and Jahmyr sitting at over 1,200, I think you could very well argue that kaboom is undervalued in comparison with Jahmyr Gibbs.
I tend to agree. I don't know if you've heard this one before, but it really just comes down to how you feel about running backs in this year, 2025, right?
Right.
You talked about his really slow start. I would not be shocked, and trust me, I'm no pull up the all-22 guy and let's break down some film. But I wouldn't be shocked if, like, teams sat there against Atlanta and said, okay, we're going to stop Bijan Robinson because what's standing in front of him and Kirk Cousins, we're fine with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they probably stacked the box.
Right.
And then went from there. Once they made the switch to Penix, look at the numbers. 94, 90, 170 yards. Albeit against Carolina. But you got to do it.
125.
Yeah.
Against Las Vegas.
125. So, the guy, look, he had a really good really good year. Over 1,400 yards. That's a really solid year for a running back. A guy who's been, now since he's been in the league, I think top 5 in yards. Yeah. I love the turnover numbers. Only 1 fumble the entire season.
Yep.
Didn't even lose it. That tells you it's a strong young man who knows how to play the position
Agreed.
and probably just needs a little. Again, not even a great offensive line. So for Bijan, I think there's a lot more factors than Jahmyr Gibbs, believe it or not. And none of them are the fact that he's probably really good. It's just that everything around him is
Not as good as what Jahmyr Gibbs has.
I'm going to say mid to like below mid.
Yeah.
Because they truly were an 8 and 9 team.
Yeah, which is why I think it's very undervalued. But moving on to our fourth card of the week, and that is our badass card of the week, and that is this 2003 Upper Deck LeBron James Redemption Special Rookie Card in a PSA 9. It is down 25.9% over the past 6 months to just $37 per card. But how sick is it? We have it right here.
Let's see.
This is what you call a 3D
Whoa.
hollow view. I don't know if the camera will do it justice, but this right here is a 3D hollow view, and this is a true rookie card for LeBron. This is a 2003 card in a PSA 9 for $37.
Really?
Yep.
Thank you.
Honestly, I think 3D tech it's been around for years.
Yeah.
And it needs to make a bigger comeback. There are a few modern ones out there and a few that have been released lately, but I think this type of tech is pretty underutilized. Like, let me ask you this. Would you rather have a die cut card, so it's like cut out in a weird shape, and the struggle of having to put that into a sleeve with the billion different corners and edges it has, and it making it impossible to grade?
I would not want
Or
that.
would you rather have more of these 3D hollow view cards, like as an insert, right?
for sure.
I think this for sure. This is a badass card.
Agree.
Like, that is a really cool rookie card for under $40.
And on top of that, that's how you should actually do like tying it to the city. It's called the City Heights
Yeah, that's an actual photo of the city in the background.
because nothing screams downtown skyline I need to be a part of than Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, we could have put this in safe cards as well, because at the end of the day, it's a LeBron James rookie card.
Yeah. Wait, LeBron, is he related to Bronny?
Yeah, he's related to that Bronny guy. He's
He
the
is.
dad of Bronny James.
Oh, that's where I've heard of him.
Yeah.
LeBron. I forgot how to pronounce it.
Exactly.
LeBron. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty cool regardless.
Yeah, but that's a wrap. It does not get better than that, in my opinion, for under $40. But that's a wrap from the Hollywood Rip Studio for this week's episode of the Cardboard Critics Sports Card Podcast. Hope you enjoyed our Invest Cards of the Week. If you did, do the holy trinity of YouTube. That is, smash the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And don't just tap that notification bell. Why don't you just punch it like you just pulled an expired redemption card? We appreciate you, we appreciate the hobby, and thanks so much for being on board with us. So until next week, the boys, Mr. Hollywood and Joe Nasty, I think we're gonna come at you guys from Palm Springs next weekend.
Live on location.
Yep, but until then, we are out.